Good morning, guys. I think we're live. Yep. I don't even know where to start with this live stream. I honestly wanted to do it yesterday, but my phone died on the drive home. I experienced the worst professionalism yesterday. I'm sure it could get worse, but it was really bad. And it kind of caught me off guard because so far I've been loving this hospital. It's a step up from my old hospital, I think. Not a dramatic step up, but a step up nonetheless. The people have been great. The the staff, the like when I was in infectious disease, for example. But if I talked about it on here, it's probably in passing because honestly, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. I realized it was not the most professional thing, but honestly, I blew it off. Um, and then the next day after this thing happened, the department had apologized to me personally. She said things like, this is a learning environment. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Even though I didn't go through anything, I witnessed something in the hospital, but I didn't go, like, it didn't happen to me. It didn't involve me at all. I was just in the environment. And she was like, I'm sorry you had to go through that. This is a learning environment. This is not the environment we want for our students. And I was like, holy crap. They really care. And it was a great feeling. And sometimes you feel as a medical student, you're like below everybody and no one really gives a shit about you. You know what I mean? But that felt amazing. And besides that, it's been an overall really comfortable experience at this hospital. I don't feel like any attending is rude or looking down on me. I don't feel like any resident like um gives me a bunch of scut work or anything like that. Like it's been great. And then yesterday there's something called a switch of potholes, a switch of service, where the residents switch to a different service. The students stay the same. Students are elective students are on a monthly schedule no matter what. We don't switch services. Um, so the people I was working with in the beginning of the week, there's only one of them remaining. And I think I told you guys, like, I did an admission that I kind of sort of like I needed my handheld throughout it, and I was guided through it with the second year. I I did all the blood draws for the attendings, but not as in scut, not like they just sent me out with a list of blood draws, but like I assisted them. I showed them how to do it. I was teaching. And then yesterday, this new resident, crazy. But let's talk about professionalism as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, I know we low key blow it off. It's something we get tested on. It's something that's like on our syllabus that we need to learn at the end of the year, and like it's part of our grade and stuff like that. But no one really pays attention to it. When we think of professionalism, we're like, all right, you got to wear scrubs, you got to wear a professional dress. That's it. You can't show up to the hospital in like a jeans and a crop top. Like, I think that's how we think of professionalism. But it's also how you speak to people. It's also how you carry yourself. It's how you if we're in a teaching hospital, it's how you teach. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say without, putting myself in a predicament. But I think in a professional setting, you need to be very mindful of what you say. It's not just what you're wearing, your tie, whatever the hell it is. It's what you say. You can't use locker room talk in a professional setting. You're not in a locker room. That's such a bizarre excuse. Oh, it's just locker room talk. Do it in the locker room, I guess. If it really is locker room talk, you're not anywhere near a locker room. And I feel like it's just common sense. If we're all new and this is just how you talk with your boys, don't. Like, you don't know us. We're not your boys. You know what I mean? Like, you're cool like that with other people. Why would you behave in such a way in front of strangers? You know, if you and your homies always at the end of the shift, throughout the shift, whatever it is, talk smack about patients, you know, always. And your homie's not there today. You're just gonna do it with a stranger. You have no idea if the stranger is related to that patient, related to the program director, have some sort of association with the person you're talking shit about. Like you're just gonna word vomit in front of strangers. That just doesn't even make common sense. I'm not saying like watch your back at all times, but I mean use common sense. I don't know. I don't want to seem like, what is that phrase? Like a wet blanket. Like I don't consider myself like lame, you know what I mean? Like I talk smack about patients. I There's things patients do that annoy me and you got to let off steam every now and then. There's things attendings do that annoy me that you got to let off steam every now and then. I've done it on the vlog, but like I don't destroy them with my words. Like I don't use vulgar words to say what I'm trying to say. I'm like, man, that wasn't cool. That was annoying, etc. Very PG terms. This resident, like, wow. Even if that attending is the worst attending in the world, like some of the stuff he was saying was unnecessary. And again, you don't know the people in this room. It is our first day working with you, except for one person. You like, what do? You don't even know if I'm related to that attending. How do you guys? Is that just me? Am I crazy? I don't just bleh, explode in front of people I don't know. I don't even curse in front of people I don't know. Like, I don't use the N word frequently, but I do use it. And the thing is, I'm not gonna just use it in front of people I don't know. There's a lot of people who don't like that word, don't want it around them. So you test the waters a bit. You know, you see what the environment's like, if they're down for it. If they're not, they're not. I feel like that's the only example I could come up with. I wanted to use cursing, but a lot of people curse. You know, there's very few people in the world. Sorry guys, if that was a little glitch. It's reconnecting. It's like a dead zone that I always drive through on this highway. I don't know if I'm fully expressing what I want to express because I'm also trying to be very careful with my words. But let me know if I'm crazy. Leave in the comments below if I'm taking professionalism too seriously. I think I'm old school, guys. I think miss you. I don't know. I think I I'm old school and I still put doctors on a pedestal. I had a back and forth with someone about other people in the hospital wearing long white coats. I think I'm old school, and I'll take that. I think doctors should be seen as, you know, higher up in the ranks. The highest. Everybody reports to a doctor. I got in trouble for saying that. Not in trouble, but a nurse was mad at me when I said that, that they report to doctors. But low key, don't they? A nurse can't do anything without calling a doctor first, right? So I don't know. And with that mindset that I have comes the professionalism thing. I think doctors should act a certain way, especially if you expect to receive this acknowledgement of you being the highest rank. You need to act that way. You need to hold yourself up to a higher standard, you know? You can't walk around the hospital dropping F bombs and talking crap about patients. It's crazy. I wish one I recorded everything this resident said. Like, he called a patient alive, a patient who's currently alive, but very sick. He called that patient a corpse. Like, what? Like, we say, like, oh man, this patient's not gonna make it. I don't know what we're gonna do about this patient, blah, 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 blah. That's what you say when you're talking about your patients. You don't say you're taking care of a corpse. What in the world? Am I crazy? Sometimes I'm like, maybe I'm taking it too seriously. Maybe I am. Sorry, guys. That guy was like merging and not even looking at me. But then I think I was in his blind spot as well, so I had to maneuver. Maybe I'm taking it too seriously, but also I don't want my doctor. If my mom is very sick in the hospital, I don't want her doctor thinking of her as a corpse. I treat my patients how I would want to be treated. If I'm in the hospital, I want to be treated amazing. And that's how I treat my patients. I could easily be in any of their situations. You know what I mean? Like, I don't currently have hypertension, chronic heart failure, COPD, or something like that, but things can happen. I could end up in the hospital right. Sorry, guys, that was a super long break. It kept saying reconnecting and disconnecting and stuff like that. I guess that whole latter part of the highway is a dead zone. Um, Honestly, I don't even remember what I was saying. Something about corpse or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I should just end it. I don't want to get upset about it over again. I'm about to go to the hospital again. Um, I chose not to work with this guy, this resident. Um, I walked out of the room when he was like talking all the smack, and I switched myself to a different resident. I hope that doesn't like come back to bite me in the butt. Like, I didn't do it officially. I didn't go through any process saying I'm changing a resident. I just went to a resident that I know is cool, and I'll continue my sub-I with this resident. What's annoying is a really, really good attending works with that team, the team that I just left. So I'm missing out on being taught by that really great attending because of that one douchebag. And I just can't. I thought to myself, just like, suck it up, just suck it up and take it, just deal with it. But I literally could not. I physically could not. I worked with this guy for not even a day. I think I was with him for like an hour. And within the hour, I was like, I never, ever want to talk to this person ever again. Like a disgusting person. And I don't use that term. Wow. It's kind of crazy. I wish I could just like blast them, you know? Think of the worst things a doctor could say about a patient or about their fellow workers. And that's what this, I was in shock. I was literally sitting at the table and I was like, I didn't hear that. That's not what he said. I'm crazy. He is not saying this right now. And then I took out my phone and started recording. So much had gone past before I actually started recording him because I was like, no way. He is not serious. Like, I'm waiting for the LOL at the end of this paragraph. You know what I mean? Like, what is happening? And to be honest, if you speak like that and then you're like, haha, LOL, you're lying. Not a joke. If you say such cruel things about human beings, like, oh my gosh. He was talking about people like they're below dirt. And I'm like, yo, I'm not about that. I wish, in hindsight, I wish I spoke up, but I don't know. In those situations, you don't feel comfortable at all. Someone who is so vulgar, immediately on first impression, you're like, you don't feel like you can speak to this person. I was the only female in the room. That was another thing that I looked around the room and I was like, if I speak right now, I'm the hysterical woman, you know? You get marked with that.